That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon, you want one quick question?
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. Man, what a weekend. It's still not over. Trip still not over. We got a couple more hours left. However, it was like really the only thing on my mind because, excuse me, it's the only thing I did today. So, so since it's the only thing on my mind, only thing I did today, I usually like to keep like events and things of that sort, things that I kind of do all day. I like to keep that off stream and kind of keep stream to, kind of current events outside of the event that I went to and have that for my other videos. However, yeah, let's talk about it. BET Wars, bro. So, it was a lot of cool stuff that I saw. I saw some clips and stuff because I missed pretty much like the first hour or so of the show. But the rest of it that I saw, it was a pretty well-produced show. Now, I know it was 25 years of 106 in Park. It was 25 years of the BET Awards, period. And it was 45 years of celebrating the network BET in its existence. However, they went to darn near 1 a.m. Eastern time. I was like, oh, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. 1 a.m. Eastern time is crazy. Kirk Franklin is up there at 12:30 a.m. Eastern. Oh my goodness. It was that was insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. But another thing I want to say, bro. Because I want to watch this clip first. I'm not gonna share it on the screen, just for the sake of BT's copyright and everything like that. Because the other night I did, who did I do? I did Michael Beasley, bro. Michael Beasley and the Lance Stevenson one-on-one, and they took it down and they copyright strike me for it. So before I uploaded my individual segmented video of that live, like, man, it's crazy. I think the great news about it was that they took down the live before I even uploaded the segmented video, because my lives only get a couple viewers, but the segmented videos can get anywhere from 100 views to like 20,000. So I'm just glad that it got stopped then before it could have been like something where I had a couple hundred views and it was looking up kind of quickly, and then it got taken down. I'm like, dang, all the motion just stopped. But there's that. Yes, I want to see this movie. This clip. All right, let me see. Oh. Okay. All right. So here we go, right? Okay, so based off of that, this is what I want to say. I understand honoring Snoop Dogg in LA. BET Awards is in LA every year. It's been the 25th anniversary of the BET Awards. I 100% understand for what he's accomplished in his career and just what he's done. He's gone beyond. He's probably one of the most well-known celebrities in the world. If you talk about Americans, he's up there with top two, if not, might be him and Shaq kind of go neck and neck in most famous American in the world. And so with that being, Michael Jordan maybe, but yeah, Michael Jordan too. So those guys, most famous Americans in the world, go to any country, can be recognized and stuff. And big deal, Snoop Dogg. I get it. At the same time, the timing of it is crazy. And the timing of it isn't just crazy because of what's going on in LA this past weekend, but it's crazy because he took this money, he took the Trump money for the Trump event and things of that sort in January. Like, the inauguration event was in January. So BET had between, what was that? February, March, April, May, June, 6 months, bro, of, okay, are we still going to do this? Do we want to do this? And they made the decision to go through it, and not only go through it, but have Dr. Dre do the introduction for him, right? I say all of this to say why is because like I say, once again, right? Snoop on paper deserves every single thing. He deserves to receive his Lifetime Achievement Award and his flowers while he can still smell them, while he's still on this earth. So we could tell Snoop Dogg each and every single day, bro, you are so legendary. We are so lucky to be living in a time period with a talent like yourself. The way you freestyle, the way that you do the groovy stuff, the way that you switch it up, and you did the gospel thing for a while, then you did the reggae album, then you did the it's just really dope. You know, you're about peace and what you kind of represent for California, and like a rising underdog story, and not even an underdog, but a rebranding story, like rebranding Hall of Fame, Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying, and international icon, all of these things. You 100% deserve that. At the same time, bro, why is it jokes for Kanye and he can't get in, allegedly, or if that was a joke or whatever the case might be, right? But here's the thing about Kanye. I'll tell you this, because it wasn't just that. MC Lyte, in her introduction of Kirk Franklin with his Icon Award, right? MC Lyte says, hold on, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. MC Lyte says, and he's worked with artists such as, and then she names a bunch of secular artists. So it's Chance the Rapper, it's Justin Bieber, it's Little Baby, it's Will Smith, and it's Friday, right? And Friday kind of, he leans on the inspirational side every now and again with his voice and in his message and a lot of his most popular songs. It leans a little more spiritual, but still he's considered a secular artist. And then Glorilla, you know, who just won the gospel award right before him. I didn't like that pick either. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was Glorilla's first BET award, and she deserved a BET award at some point. So congratulations to Glorilla for winning the BET award. However, I didn't like it in that category because gospel people, like, it's some gospel people that really dedicate their life to this. Like Pastor Mike is a real pastor, and he dedicates his life to it. And he had a moment with that song. You know, gospel music, I don't know if the new hits hit and spread as wildfire as much because we aren't in the radio generation anymore. I think when you look at the last generation of gospel songs that really stuck and really hit, it's due to, you can point directly to, it hit because people listen to the radio. And when you listen to the radio as a Black person, you know, I'm from the South, so I can only speak from my experience. But in the South, as a Black person, if you're listening to the radio on one of your dial tone things, you know, dial radio stations is going to be the gospel station. You know, you're going to have the old school R&B, hip hop if you're younger, a gospel station, and then if you're a sports fan, you might have a sports radio station as one of your stations as well, and then another hip hop or another R&B. You're going to have gospel as one of your things. So it's like everybody's kind of like forced with gospel because you're riding with it every single day on the radio as one of your choices on the radio. Now we don't live in the radio age anymore. Everybody creates what they want to create. And so with gospel, you're definitely more just kind of likely to go back to what you already knew. It's a long-winded way of me saying, like, it's very difficult to kind of pop through with a new record in gospel to have the type of reach that a lot of the songs that Kirk Franklin performed tonight in his tribute reach. Like, everybody knows Silver and Gold, everybody knows Smile, everybody knows Stomp, everybody knows what's another one? You know, there's none. No, that's Smile. But you know, everybody knows those at least 3 songs from Kirk Franklin. Did I say Melodies from Heaven? Yeah, I didn't. Melodies from Heaven, Silver and Gold, Stomp, and Smile. Those are 4 songs every Black person knows, bro. So it's like there aren't many gospel songs, including from Kirk Franklin himself, that just reach that far nowadays because they're not on the radio. Like Lecrae's joint with Tori Hilson, not Tori Hilson. What's Tori name? Tori and on and I find you, because that was a big record too. And You Can't Stop Me from Andy Mineo, that was a big record. Let me see Lecrae and Tori. what was that song called? I'll Find You. That song was called I'll Find You. And then the song, the Blessing song with Ty Dolla. Like, I say all this to say Lecrae's success and Andy Mineo's success in a couple of those songs were as close as to like a gospel mega hit that we've had since, I say, Won't He Do It from Corinne Hawthorne, to be honest, to be 100% honest. Since Won't He Do It, these have been the biggest gospel mega hits. Now, there have been some big gospel songs, I think, going back to Corinne Hawthorne, but the Look at God, that was a pretty big popular song. It wasn't a mega hit the way that Won't He Do It was, or this Tori Kelly and Lecrae song, I'll Find You, or the Ty Dolla Sign, Blessings. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was another mega hit, you know what I'm saying? So they weren't hitting like that. So I say all of this to say this, bro. In a category like that, right? Where you had Kanye made Donda 1, and Donda 1's the top highest charting gospel album for 3 years straight. That's crazy, bro. Like, because people really do this. People really preach, minister work, lead Bible studies, do community service, do this, you know, for the church and this and that, and put out gospel albums and put their all into these gospel albums, and they might not get as much attention as we used to put on gospel as a genre and the new stuff as a whole. And shout out to Maverick City. They're doing their thing. Maverick City's doing their thing and things of that sort. And Kirk kind of like shed a little light, but also kind of teamed up with them as power people. But gospel as a genre isn't getting as much attention as it used to, as is. So why did the award go to a non-primary gospel artist? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't like that choice. But so MC Lyte, going way back 5 minutes now, MC Lyte names all the secular artists that Kirk Franklin has worked with. And so you see it, but she missed one name, the biggest name, Kanye West. So not only did Kevin Hart make the joke about don't let him in at the beginning of the show, MC Lyte, in, you know, introducing MC Lyte in introducing Kirk Franklin, skips Kanye's name. And then what happened again? Jamie Foxx receives the first Icon Award of the night. And as Jamie Foxx walks up, what is the song they playing? She take my mind. I ain't saying she'll go. They got Kanye's voice on the thing. I was thinking about this the other night. Kanye is so iconic when it comes to music, bro. Like, because I think people really forget. Like, because like what he says is so crazy. Here it goes. Hold on. Let me pull this up. People really forget, bro. This Cameron song from him and Kanye West, Down and Out, that was the song that Cam played in Dipset versus the Lox versus, bro. That means that's one of Dipset's biggest songs ever, and that's one of Cameron's biggest songs ever, right? That's not in Kanye's 20. If Kanye does a versus, that's not even in his 20. That's one of the closers for someone like Cam. Here's another one, right? If Slum Village were to do, right? If Slum Village were to do a versus, right? Easily, their closer would be Selfish. Selfish is probably not in Kanye West's 20, bro, to keep it a bean. I don't even know if the dude is allowed to play You Don't Know My Name. And then he made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And he also made Late Registration. And he also made College Dropout. And he also made 808s on Heartbreak. Like, come on, bro. Like, I say all this to say Kanye, despite everything, is still the best and most important musician since Michael Jackson. And it's like, so to completely cast him out and ignore him and blackball him from even mentioning his name, even though his influence is all over the awards, because you can't escape it for a whole night. If you're talking about Black excellence and you know, Black culture contributions, particularly in the fields of entertainment, the Black Entertainment Television Awards, right? If we're talking about that, you can't ignore Kanye West for 5 hours. The show is 5 hours. So it's like, why was Kanye completely shut out and blacklisted, and we can't even say Kanye's name up here, right? We can't even say Ye's name. We can't even say Kanye West. We can't even say that, right? But Snoop Dogg gets a whole tribute and award this weekend of all weekends, because this man took Trump money, right? And this weekend is so crazy because we got helicopters. Helicopters been flying the whole weekend around here. Got helicopters. We got places on lockdown. Like I said, my hotel was locked down last night. The convention center was locked down at a particular time last night. The buildings downtown LA are locked down. There's not many people on the streets in certain particular. There are tonight because BET Awards and the Sparks game and the protests going on. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of people on the streets tonight. But overall, last night, there was not a lot of people on the streets, bro. It's not a lot of people on the streets. A lot of the doors were locked. A lot of this was going on. A lot of that. City really on surveillance. And it's because of what? Because ICE is trying to get undocumented citizens to go back to their country to deport them. And who are most of the deported citizens targeted? Specifically, Mexicans. Why did they go to Southern California? Because everybody and their mama knows a lot of Mexicans be in LA. So he sent ICE to LA. He, as in Trump, your boy that you accepted the money from, he came into your city and tried to take your people from your city. Everybody knows LA has a huge Mexican population. It's a brown and black city, to be quite honest, bro. It's a brown and black city, to be honest. And so for Trump to come in and do that to your city, when not even how many years ago? That was probably like, at this point, 6 years ago. 6 years ago, YG and Nipsey make the song FDT. And YG and Nipsey go back and forth about, man, I love Mexicans. I hate how you trying to do that to Mexican. What's wrong with Mexican? You know what I'm saying? They did that whole soliloquy. You bumping the song on Instagram Live, you know what I'm saying? With the little blunt in your mouth, things of that sort. You doing all of this. And then you take his money and then you say, oh yeah, it was a crypto event. The guy that hosted it was a good friend of mine. People gonna talk, but they won't say the good stuff that I done for the community. And that's just crazy, bro. That's just crazy to me. Like, they gave him a chance to clarify or apologize. And he just said, yeah, I mean, I did it, bro. Like, what you gonna say? Like, the crypto man has helped me out in a lot of ways. Like, bro, you do not look out for your people at all, bro. And you just show you were in it for your best interest. Because say you were in legal trouble and the man who got you out, you know what I'm saying, was the guy who's the crypto guy now. Still, bro, you still need to apologize to all the communities and everything that this would affect if I put my name tied publicly to something affiliated with Donald Trump. So the fact that this is going on, the atrocities are going on right now, and Doechii put out a powerful statement. I didn't see that because I just missed it. Like I said, I missed the first hour of the award show tonight. I do want to read it though. I can't play it. BET copyright, things of that sort. I did a reaction to Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley earlier this week, and they got copyright struck, like they took it down. So productions like this, I'm definitely just not even gonna play them. But Doechii said this, according to the quote: Trump is using the military forces to stop a protest. I want y'all to consider what type of government it appears to be when every time we exercise our democratic right to protest, the military is deployed against us. She's saying the real. I was saying this to somebody else, like I was speaking to somebody earlier in the day before we get dressed and go to the joint, and they were like, I hope the protests don't slow down the BET Awards and get in the way of the BET Awards. And I said, what is the BET Awards? Like, what does it matter if families, what was it? If families are being split up, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your auntie has been kidnapped, taken into cuffs, taken into custody, put in a box, a mobile box. We move them over and then we place them in a cage until we can send them, you know what I'm saying, hours away from you in a whole nother country. What is me dancing to Soulja Boy? You BET or 106 and Park is 25. What is that? Forget the BET Awards and that aspect. And like I said, I love BET, bro. I love BET so much. I got denied credentials. I still pulled up today. I still paid out of pocket, took PTO and pulled up just because I love BET and I love the BET Award so much. I put so much respect on it. I get a new suit for it every single year, bro. And I treat it with the utmost respect because it's literally the epitome of our people. It's an amazing celebration. And I just love it, dog. So I say all of this to say, even though I respect BET and the BET Awards so much, what is the BET Awards compared to real lives and to real families and real life issues that's going to span beyond one weekend or one day or 1 week of trending topics on social media discussions? So I'm glad that Doechii addressed the elephant in the room. Like I said, I missed the first hour of the show. So this must have been towards the beginning of the show. So I'm glad she said this in the midst of everybody just having fun and dancing and dressing pretty and dabbing up Casanat and trying to plug their music or their YouTube channels or whatever the case might be on his mic while he's IRL sitting down with Drewski. I appreciate Doechii for saying this just up front at the beginning of the show. And I wish I was on the carpet, but it's okay. It is all good. In due time, like Ty Lil said, we just have to work harder. I just have to work harder, to be honest, bro. And I'll be back on the carpet in no time. I'll be back on the carpet. Believe that. Trust. But I also like being in the crowd. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I like being in the crowd, but I need the access. I need the media access, to be honest, because it was a bit limited in what I was able to kind of do this weekend. But I'll be back for sure. I'll be back. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Okay. I'm glad Doechii said this. Where else do I want to go for the BET Awards tonight? Was it this? Oh, yeah. So the 106 in sports. 106 in sports, man. Let me pull this up. 106 in sports with Ashley Nicole Moss and Cam Newton. They've announced a new sports show today at the BET Awards. Here we go. Where is that? Where is it? 106 in sports. Everybody rolling their eyes. Who asked for 106 in sports? Bring back 106 in park. We didn't see nothing about 106 in sports. I thought they was about to bring back 106 in park and they announced a sports show. Where's the video? Is there a video of this being announced? I can't watch it on stream, but let me see if I can at least see a picture of it or something. Hold on. Give me a second. Where we at with it? Dang, ain't nobody happy about it. Oh, here's the clip. Dang. But there's a clip. Spin off. Oh, yeah. Ain't nobody happy about it. Anyways, it's going to be Ashley Nicole Moss and Cam Newton. First things first, salute to Ashley Nicole Moss, a Black woman journalist who came up the traditional way through school, everything like that. She's been grinding, bro, especially after COVID. Like during COVID, she was on like all the Knicks fans TV lives and things of that sort. She was grinding on YouTube, I remember. Back in that time, 2020, 2021, that when I kind of like first started following her and stuff. And then like, I don't know, bro. Like she just kind of went up because her pictures would go viral because, Easy was gone. But I don't know. She just kept working. It's one thing to be pretty. It's another thing to have looks and the work ethic. I feel like Taylor Rooks is an amazing example of that. There's a few women out here who are just great examples of that, where it's like, this might help them get in the door or help them, more people want to see them. Yeah. But that's a part of TV. Like you got to have a look that's appealing to people. Like Connie Rosie, she said, looking good is a part of my brand. Like I have to look good to kind of draw in the audience. Like people, especially with women, unfortunately, because of the male-centered male gaze and things of that sort within the community and within the world society. Like the more attractive you are as a woman, the more that people gonna want to watch you. It just is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it's the unfortunate truth. Now, Cam Newton. First of all, salute to Cam Newton. He's from Atlanta. He's a football legend. And his show, 4th and 1, shout out to Peggy, who friend of the channel now. He's officially come on camera on the channel, so he's officially friend of the family of the channel and things of that sort. Cam, the 4th and 1's going well. I think Cam is funny with the content stuff. Like I think he's entertaining with it. It's interesting. I enjoy it. Now, with all of that being said, all of the positivities being said, bro, once again, I say this, and a lot of times it's a lot of new people that come on my channel who just don't, you know what I'm saying? They might not know me. So I know for sure. I said they might not know me. I know for sure they don't know me or know who I am. So that brings me back to this video. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna wait for it to load up, and then we gonna pull it up. All right, cool. Here it is. I asked Cam Newton to his face about how many black journalists at ESPN could they name who didn't play or coach professionally. And we had a little back and forth about it for about 10 minutes, 10, 11 minutes. Afterwards, we taken a picture. Brandon Marshall said, let me ask you a question. I said, what? He said, do you feel like insecure that we're going to take your position? I said, no, because can't nobody do what I can do. Like, I could do a little bit of this. I could do a little bit of that. I could do a little bit of that. Since I'm a kind of a Swiss Army type of person, I built myself and I studied, kind of trained myself to, like, you can't get rid of me, because it's like you might find someone who's better at video, you might find someone who's better on camera talent. I'll be a better writer than them. I'll be a better editor than them. I might be just a harder worker and more consistent showing up to work than they are, right? And then you can have someone who is a better writer than me, a better, editor, just sees things, catches things, proofreads things better than I can. They can't do video like I can. They can't edit video like I can. I'm saying all this, not to flex, not to say, oh, this is a lesson to all the kids coming up in journalism. If you want to do media, please learn to do as many skills within the industry as you can, and as well as other industries as well. I can only speak for the industry I'm in, but please learn how to do that stuff, because the more flexible you are, the more that people can't put you in a box, the more just likely you are to keep a job. So I say that. So I say this at the beginning to say that, yes, I said it to his face, like I usually do. You can see the Flau'jae brother interview on the channel that I did over the thing. I think it's in shorts, and then I got the full interview up. His name is Trey Mills, right? And I just straight up asked him, because if I interview Flau'jae's brother, what does everybody want to know about Flau'jae's brother? Why did you jump on the court? People are scared to ask these questions because they don't want to burn bridges. They don't want to be on bad terms with nobody. They don't want to do this and that. My job ain't to make friends with famous people. I'm sorry. That's just not my job. My job's not to make friends with fans. My job's not to make friends with the famous people that I'm covering, bro. My job is to do my job and to tell the truth and to ask the questions that the general public wants to know. There was only one time in recent memory that I passed up on the question, and I'll tell y'all right now. It was Indiana Fever's first game this season in Atlanta. I believe it was Atlanta's home opener, if I'm not mistaken, at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. That's where the Hawks play, and they pack it out more when Caitlin Clark comes to town with the Atlanta Dream, more so than they pack it out with most Hawks games. So there's that. Anyways, back to the topic. So I was speaking about Indiana. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about Indiana, the Indiana Fever having fans with the Atlanta Dream, and I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had a whole plan too. Jeez, it just escaped me. Indiana Fever, Atlanta Dream. There's people there, more people. Oh, the one time I passed up on a question, I remember it. The one time I passed up on a question in recent memory. So in the game, Ryan's guarding Caitlin tough, and Caitlin kind of gives Ryan a shove, and then Ryan runs up to her in her face, and they start drawing. You guys seen the clip. It went pretty viral. That was the same game where they tried to say Brittany Griner said something that she didn't on the bench. Anyways, regardless, we get in a press conference and it's A, Caitlin Clark. So you know it's going to be talked about. You know it's going to go viral. And B, Ryan Howard is a quiet person. She doesn't really just chirp like that on a basketball court, but she did there. These are 2 number 1 picks, right? So there's that, right? I didn't ask Ryan the obvious question, and nobody else Ryan the obvious question about what happened there. What did she tell Caitlin Clark? And that was the one time that I did back down and didn't ask what I wanted to ask. Every other time I asked what I want to ask. And the reason why I didn't ask there is because last year wasn't the best for me with the Dream Organization and stuff, with the previous regime and everything like that. Like, I was asking those questions that the fans wanted to know, and it was kind of wearing the previous regime down, and they didn't like that. So, you know, it was my first year. This was my first game with the independent media credential and stuff like that for Rashad Milligan and the brand and stuff like that. And so I was like, man, I'm on too thin of an ice to ask that question right now, because I knew it was going to be a Rashad, like, yeah, they're going to cry about it and stuff like that. So that's the one time I didn't ask something that I wanted to ask in terms of the interview that I did. Everything else, I say all this to say, I say it to their face. While Cam's pod is doing well and he's having a great launch to his media career and things of that sort, y'all couldn't find like a black dude that didn't play sports, bro. And it's important to me because kids need to feel like they have a chance and a choice to do something different with their lives, as opposed to being the star athlete and being the star musician and things of that sort, the star rapper and all of those things. Kids need to see that they can actually be that. Like, when I was sports editor at the Valley Times News in Valley, Alabama, I was in Lynette, Alabama, was the offices. I was the first black editor across the paper in any section for as long as it was around. It was around for over 50 years at that point. You know what I mean? Probably like closer to 100 years, actually. Over 100 years at that point. And I was the first black editor in any role, in any section over there. So one of the community members told me that. And I was like, oh, wow, for real? And they invited me out to speak for the West Point at Point University on the basketball court. They invited me out to speak at the event, at the Black History Month event. So I speak at the Black History Month event, and I'm just kind of pleading to kids, like, there are only this many black sports editors in America, and I know more than y'all like sports. And I know y'all like sports because I'm around y'all. I'm at y'all schools and things of that sort. But nobody wants to work in sports journalism and shaping sports stories. The way to shape sports stories and having the narrative is so important. The media is such an important job because it's literally the medium between the consumer and the product, between the fan base and the consumer and things of that sort. So, yeah, it's an extremely important job. It faces the way that you see John Morant media does. Like, do you look at John Morant as a thug? Do you look at John Morant as a this and that? All that stuff comes from media, bro. And that's why you need more black people in media, particularly sports journalism, because if you're covering mostly black athletes, you kind of need someone who can understand, comes from that background. I'm not saying that it has to be that way all the time, because white people can, you know what I'm saying, present. This was from the Black History Month joint. And I think that was 2019 in West Point, Georgia. But yeah, white people can produce a good story speaking about a black person. Like, you don't have to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to be pregnant to write a story about a pregnant woman. But it helps a little more if you have been pregnant, or if you are pregnant, to write a story about a pregnant woman, and down the line with everything else with background, because there's certain things that you just won't be able to understand unless you walked in those shoes before. So that's why I'm so passionate about regular kids or regular students, that, hey, you can grow up, study journalism, get a media degree, and you can be on ESPN, and your job can be speaking on camera about sports. But dang, when every black man on the sports broadcast is a former Pro Bowl, multi-time NBA All-Star, multi-time Super Bowl, you got freaking Tom Brady considered the GOAT. Tom Brady considered the GOAT. Michael Jordan is considered the GOAT. These are the Wayne Gretzky's considered the GOAT. These are the guys who just take all our jobs when we graduate. Man, come on, bro. They got the biggest jobs on the biggest networks, and they steal it. I wouldn't say steal it, but those opportunities are taken away from young black men who could do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They just don't have the name. But you can build a name just by showing them on a show a bunch of times. That's kind of the point of a big break. There you go. I'm thinking. So yeah, that's all I want to say, man. It's nothing against Cam personally, and it's not about me per se, because like I said, I think I will always be okay. I speak that in Jesus' name because of the work that I put in and the skills that he's blessed me with across various fields. But it's not just about me. It's never been just about me, regardless of how narcissistic or self-centered I could appear. It's never just about me, bro. It's about others and helping the community and helping the next generation and helping stop cycles and generational trauma and things of that sort. That's always been, you know, I'm saying, my number one type of thing that I want to do, that I always wanted to focus on. So I just think a lot of that progress is stalled from a man that Snoop decided to take money from. So that was it. Snoop decided to take money from, and then with this Cam Newton situation, like, you know, taking opportunities from kids, bro. Or not even kids, but just people who took a traditional route for journalism, because that always isn't the case in other fields. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Anything else with BET before I move on? I think if I think of anything else, I'll just bring this up. Oh yeah, this came from here. This is why y'all have success. Y'all never have a successful podcast or live streaming platform. Yeah, it's because, like, bro, like, you have to report the news. Now, one thing I will say with the DDG being mad at Shade Room, it's because, like, the way they word things is kind of, it angles it one way to make someone look more guilty than they are. And I think that's valid kind of like frustration with the Shade Room. Okay, who else? Anything else at the BET Awards that I should discuss right now? Okay, I don't think so. All right, next scene. That was 40 minutes, bro. Woo, sheesh. All right, longer than last night's stream by itself. Okay, Sly Stone, bro. Dang, man, Sly Stone gone. Another ancestor. Sly Stone, pioneering of the funk band, excuse me. Sly and the Family Stone has died at 82. Dang. It's from Mark Osborne. First things first, man. Shout out to my brother, Phil Lewis. He has a newsletter that's called What I'm Reading. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. He gives all this stuff. And he gives exclusive sit-down interviews with legendary people as well on there. It's a good thing. And it comes out, I think, like, I want to say every week. So, yeah. Shout out to my mans. Sly Stone, pioneering leader of the funk band Sly and the Family Stone, dies at 82. Sly Stone, the pioneering leader of the funk band bearing his name, Sly and the Family Stone, has died. According to his family, Stone was 82 years old. After a prolonged battle with COPD and other underlying health issues, Sly passed away peacefully, surrounded by his 3 children, his closest friends, and his extended family. His family said in a statement, "While we mourn his absence, we take solace in knowing that his extraordinary musical legacy will continue to resonate and inspire for generations to come." Stone, whose real name was Sylvester Stewart, formed a band with his brother Freddie and sisters Loretta and Rose at a young age. The band played gospel music, seemingly a far cry from the funk and psychedelic that he would later become known for. But Sly and the Family Stone would become known for blending music styles. Sly Stone was simply answer simply when writing in his 2023 memoir, Thank You, about how he wanted to be remembered. Music, just music. I don't want to get in other people's way, and I don't want them to get in my way. I just want to play my songs. I would do it for nothing. He was born in Texas in 1943, the second oldest of 5 children, but his family moved to San Francisco Bay Area when he was young. He got a job as a disc jockey in the early 60s and played everything from British rock to soul music. Sly and the Family Stone formed in 1966 as a combination of Sly and his brother Freddie's individual bands. Sister Rose also joined the group. Loretta chose not to pursue music, while the younger sister, Veta, performed in her own band. Little sister and would join Sly and the Family Stone for occasional gigs. When Sly was predominantly guitarist in the band form, he allowed Freddie to take that role in the new group, and he mostly played keyboard. However, he was, by many accounts, a musical prodigy. He learned to play guitar, keyboard, bass, and the drums as a child. The Family Stone was the first American rock band to be racially integrated. Sly and the Family Stone released his first album in October 1967, a whole new thing, but it received only limited attention. But just a month later, the band would be launched into the stratosphere when they released a single called Dance to the Music. Dance to the music. Dance to the music. Wait, hold on. Let me see now. Make sure I'm getting it right. Hold on. Let me make sure we're getting this right now. Oh, dance to. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. You talk about a hit. Wow. Dance to the music. Dance to the Music peaked at number 8 on the Billboard's pop singles chart. I knew the music worked, but I didn't know if people would get it. Stone told The Guardian in 2023 rare interview during the later years in his life. That's what happened after the first album. I poured everything into those songs. Music people liked it, but not everyone was a music person. Dance to the Music came out simpler version, and more people understood that. The band, and Sly in particular, also quickly became known for its high-energy, up-tempo performances. By 1969, and after the release of Stan in the same year, the band was one of the biggest in the world, and Sly was a household name. Stan featured the song Everyday People, the group's first #1 single, and Hot Fun in the Summertime, which peaked at number 2 in the Billboard 100 chart. Timing is everything. Can't plan lighting in a bottle. And Sly just happened to come at a time in which the paradigm shift was going to change culturally for music. Roots drummer Questlove, who directed the film Sly Lives, released in Family, told Good Morning America. He's one of the first Black artists, really one of the first artists to write confessional along with Dylan, the idea of just love songs, but talking about how we feel inside and political things. Everything that was modern music. Sly pretty much built the blueprint. At the height of the band's fame, the members of the stage, the members took stage at the original Woodstock in August 1969. The band went on stage at 3:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning, just after Janis Joplin and just before The Who. The group ripped through an electric medley of hits, including Everyday People, Dance to the Music, Music Lover, and I Want to Take You Higher. I want to take you higher. I want to take you. However, it was not long after that the band devolved into drugs, finger pointing, and missed shows. Sly himself admitted in his memoir that he became dependent on cocaine and PCP. The band released several unheralded albums in the 1970s, but never reached the height of 1969 again. It was the same for Sly's solo career, which included several albums in the late 70s and early 1980s. We usually still under this Family Stone name. When you get success, you do feel guilty about it. And why do we try to sabotage it? Questlove's asked you may, even though he invented the alphabet for which we may write books, the culture doesn't know. They don't know him for showing up for shows, being late, being an addict. Instead of saying he became an addict, we wanted to focus more on what the events in this life makes you go there, Questlove added about the documentary. Sly took the stage for a live performance at the 2006 Grammys, his first in decades, and made an occasional appearance in the ensuing years. Sly and the Family Stone was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993. They're the greatest funk band that there ever was, George Clinton of the Parliament Funkadelic said. Another pioneering bunk, Reddit said it in addition. Sly is probably the greatest single writer I can think of. In addition, in a recent documentary, a movie based on Sly Stone's life was also in the works, his family said. In a testament to the enduring current creative spirit, Sly recently completed a screenplay of his life story, a project where we are eager to share with the world. In due course, they said in their statement, we extend our deepest gratitude for the outpouring of love and prayers during this difficult time, they added. We wish peace and harmony to all who were touched by Sly's life and iconic music. Stone married his first wife, model Kathy Silva, on stage during a concert in Madison Square Garden in 1974. Silva and Stone had one son, Sylvester Jr., in 1973, but later separated in 1976. He also has two daughters, Sylvette, who goes by the middle name Foon, born in 1976, and Ivana Carmel, born in 1982. Prayers up to the family, and rest in peace, Sly Stone, man. Dance to the music. All right, here's the FAMU story. FAMU AD Angela Suggs accused of stealing over $24K at X job. So if you don't know, man, FAMU's been on a lot of stuff for the last couple of years, and they had to get a new AD, had to get a new football coach just left, but they had to get like clean house over there, new school president, all that. Like if I'm not mistaken, right? FAMU president. Yeah, this is they just got a new president, right? So there it is. Okay, so yeah, they cleaned house over there at FAMU, and so that's why this is like, here we go again. FAMU AD allegedly, AD Angela Suggs accused of stealing over $24K at our ex job, Tallahassee, Florida. This was written by the Associated Press. Florida A&M University athletic director Angela Suggs was arrested on Monday on fraud and theft charges. Wow. For allegedly using a corporate credit card for personal use totaling more than $24,000 at her former job. Suggs, 55, turned herself in and booked into the Leon County Jail. She was later released on the $500,000 bond. She was charged with 2 felonies, grand theft, and scheme to defraud. She was also charged with 4 misdemeanor counts of false claims on travel vouchers. The Department of Education of Law Enforcement says Suggs made wire transfers, cash withdrawals, and personal business purchases at casinos during business trips while she was the CEO of the Florida Sports Foundation. Investigation began last November after the FDLE received a criminal referral from the Florida Department of Commerce Inspector General, which audited Suggs' business credit card purchases and corresponding travel reimbursement at FSF. The FSF is a direct support organization operating under the Florida Department of Commerce. The audit revealed that Suggs falsified travel vouchers by coding and unauthorized charges at meals, according to FDLE. When asked about the unauthorized charges, Suggs claimed that some were for business meals and others were accidentally charged to the business card. She failed to fully repay FSF for personal expenditures, the FDLE said. FAMU interim president Timothy Beard said in a statement that the university is aware that the allegations connected to her work with the former employer. While the matter is unrelated to her duties as a member employee at FAMU, we are monitoring this situation and will respond in the appropriate, Beard said. There was no attorney listed in jail records for Suggs, who in April hired the 1993 Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward as the school's men's basketball coach. So yeah, great point there in saying like, what, he's not this or that. Like, he did the basketball coach name. But I want to look at this before we get out of here. Oh, no, I got 2 things in. This Trump Index Fund plan, thought it was interesting.
Here's how the accounts work. For every U.S. citizen born after December 31st, 2024, before January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred account that will track the overall stock market. In other words, it'll be pegged to an index that we'll pick. Right, Michael? We'll pick it. We'll pick a good one. Maybe you should be the index. I'd like to have that. These kids would be very wealthy if that were the case. That would be a good idea. I think we might do that, Michael Dell. These accounts will be private property controlled by the child's guardians, and in many cases, those guardians will be the parents. We think probably the parents will be the guardians. They'll be open for additional private contributions each year from family, friends, parents, employers, churches, private foundations, and more. This is a pro-family initiative that will help millions of Americans harness the strength of our economy to lift up the next generation, and they'll really be getting a big jump on life, especially if we get a little bit lucky with some of the numbers and the economies into the future. In addition to the substantial financial benefits of investing early in life, extensive research shows that children with savings accounts are more likely to graduate high school and college, buy a home, start a business, and are less likely to be incarcerated. Trump accounts will contribute to the lifelong success of millions of newborn babies. They are fully, and this will be very interesting, I think, for everybody to hear, they are fully funded through targeted reforms in the One Big Beautiful Bill, like the $1.7 trillion in mandatory savings, welfare reforms to stop waste and fraud, a 3.5% remittance tax, and more.
Yeah. What I have to say about it is, like, I do think that sounds good on paper and things of that sort. It sounds like a good idea. Two questions though. If everybody gets the money, like, doesn't that just raise or lower the value of the money? Like, I always thought about that with like giveaways and stuff like that. It's like, okay, if everybody's getting $100, what is this $100 going to be worth? I know some people be like, $100. Okay, congratulations, Smarty Pants of the year. But yeah, man, it's something. It's something to be cognizant of and things of that sort. Like, you can talk a good talk, but you currently have like your own people, residents, crying out for help and being separated from their families and being placed into cages right here on American soil. It's not in Ukraine. It's not in Russia. It's not in China. It's not in Taiwan. This is just straight up being on stream, walking through Atlantic Station, walking through Atlanta right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, bro. It's crazy to me. So yeah, there's that. And then I want to look at this Flau'jae thing before I go to sleep. I'm already half asleep. If you guys couldn't tell, when I started slurring my words and stuff like that, I mean I half asleep. But I want to look at this. Shout out to Lauren LaRosa. See, this is another one. I might watch this off stream, bro, and just make this video later. Because if I play it and it gets copyrighted, I don't want to do that again. I appreciate you all for coming by, stopping by and saying what's up to me. And tonight was a great stream. W stream. We got one person in here. I'm sorry you missed it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. If nobody else told you today, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good night. And I care for you. See you tomorrow night. Peace.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
Good question.
We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.